With this event, we are going to take that and deliver 2 tracks to the event. One which looks at the technology side, like where are we, where have we been, how do we think about sustainability and regulation and the legal aspects, and like, you know, the different types of token standards and smart contracts. And the other track then is specifically looking at the industry application.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Weekly podcast, the show where we interview the top movers and shakers in the crypto industry. Today, I'm joined with Miles McMorrow, the co-founder and head of product of Tech Circus. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, great to be here.
Awesome to have you. And, you know, this is an interview I've been looking forward to for a while. One, because I'm going to be hosting a panel with Tech Circus at your upcoming event, but also just because I think you guys are doing a lot to really capture and, you know, take over the market when it comes to crypto specific summits and educational content. So before we get started, why don't you just talk a little bit about what Tech Circus is and what you guys are out to accomplish?
Yeah, for sure. So Tech Circus, we've been around for about 6 years, but this is our first foray into the blockchain space. We're enthusiasts in our own right, and, you know, watching the markets quite closely at the minute. But for the past 6 years, we've been specializing in educational networking events for the experience-led design and product design communities. So running events physically in London, Manchester, Amsterdam, Berlin, and New York, but then also since the pandemic, migrating all of that into an online series and run over 130 events in the last year to kind of keep that community going, keep them shared learning and understanding what the biggest players in the kind of Web2 tech space are doing to think about their end customer. Mm-hmm. So the reason we're entering this space is because we do work with all of the big tech companies in across the events that we run on that side, and we want to kind of bridge the gap between the mainstream tech companies and what oftentimes ends up being a blockchain echo chamber or bubble, you know, in which these discussions happen. And we want to kind of bring the innovation and the product leads and the C-level stakeholders to listen and learn about how this can be embedded into the work that they're doing. So really excited to bring the Global NFT Summit as the first of 4 events that we'll be doing in this space.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the Global NFT Summit in a minute, but, you know, one thing I say often is that one of the largest barriers to adoption of cryptocurrency is just education. And so that's why I'm so, you know, enthusiastic about companies like you that are really driving that education to the masses. You talked about some of your partners, but truly you guys work with some of the largest, you know, companies on earth: Facebook, Amazon, you know, Netflix, some of the top tech companies. How do you guys, you know, acquire customers or partners like that, and how do they, you know, why are they so easy to trust Tech Circus?
Yeah, well, we've always had a focus on having a content-led approach, an educational focused approach. So even when we're engaging with the likes of, say, Google, who sponsored all of our Global Experience Summit events that we've hosted year on year, it's always been on the basis that they tie that to driving forward the panel content for all of the content across the days on different tracks. And so it's never about, hey, come and talk about how great you are. No, it's about come and talk about how you're shaping experiences for the customers that use your platforms, and help us kind of drive forward a discussion so that others can learn from the way that you've approached it as industry leaders, and start embedding some of those learnings and that they can take away from that event and disseminate that within their own teams. So we've obviously, like, consistency is key, and we plan to bring that into the global NFT or the global blockchain space, in that we won't just do one conference, we'll bring a range of conferences, and we're going to plan community events that happen on an ongoing basis. So you have to kind of build that trust over time, I think, with the communities. And we're going to bring that experience-led Tech Circus community that we have and help them to learn about the potential that experience design can bring to the blockchain and the future of mass adoption and industry application for this space, because that's another big, beyond education, it's another huge barrier to the future application of this technology.
Absolutely. You know, and being such a nascent space, I think that experience design piece, as you said, is so crucial in order to just help the average day, everyday consumer start to adopt these technologies, and hopefully before they even realize they're using cryptocurrency technology. So, you know, meshing that educational piece with also the experience design piece, I think you guys have hit like a critical niche in the market, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. You know, one thing you hit on is the educational piece and helping really, you know, turn this more from a passive kind of learning, you know, summit to, you know, a more active educational experience. So what are some of the things that you guys do in your conferences or your summits to help make that learning more, you know, engaging for the consumer?
Yeah, well, so there's a number of different ways that we think about that. One is that we won't take one form of content. We won't just deliver talk and expect you to sit there and listen. We try to change up the lengths. We try to change up the formats. You know, some people really engage well when they're listening and learning, and sometimes some content requires that, like, this is how we did it, watch and learn. Whilst a lot other times it's more important that we have a discussion and we open the floor. So since we migrated online, we brought a lot of interactive features. We built our own platform where, you know, people can upvote the most audience appreciated questions, and now we're asking those really refined discussions, engage the community through polling and discussions through the event, but also change up the format to, like, beyond, you know, even talks or firesides or panels. How about we do some mini workshops? Who wants to dive in and have a hands-on practical understanding of how to get started in the NFT space, how to kind of think about the right token standards and what you're going to, how you're going to approach the delivery and the dissemination and what chain you're going to use. And, you know, how about we get practical? So, like, outside of the actual content delivered in event, we will be doing sort of practical, kinesthetic focused workshop type content as well.
And I think that's, you know, that's so important, kind of touching on that niche that you guys are finding. Not only is it experience design, not only is it, you know, super educational, but it's also, you know, providing a clear path forward for how we can get from where we are today to, you know, where we need to go, not just as, you know, for companies, but also for an industry as a whole. So why don't we dive a little bit, you know, into your foray into the blockchain space? You guys started off as more, you know, tech experience design, but now you're making a big push to become one of the major players in the cryptocurrency educational summit space, let's call it. You guys have the Global NFT Summit coming up. Let's chat about that, you know, for a little bit, and then we'll talk about some of the other, you know, summits that you guys have coming up down the pipeline. So, what's the Global NFT Summit, and you know, when's that coming on?
But so yeah, the Global NFT Summit is under 2 weeks away now, I think. So we are now, like, the whole focus of this is to continue to drive this. To create this bridge and kind of help people understand how this technology, beyond the speculative art bubble, beyond, like, you know, the investing one and done approach that many people seem to have had in this space, we want to kind of drive forward a conversation about how the technology can now be used in industry and by pushing an innovation around the technology as it's being more and more matured over the recent years. How can we drive down the cost, drive down the fees, look at creating a utility use case for this technology, and that really opens the door to so many use cases across industry. So with this event, we are going to take that and deliver 2 tracks to the event. One which looks at the technology side, like, where are we, where have we been, how do we think about sustainability and regulation and the legal aspects, and, like, you know, the different types of token standards and smart contracts. And, like, one talk, for example, is do we even need them? Can we get even more agile than actually needing to kind of think within the confines of a smart contract? So lots of interesting conversations to happen there. The other track then is specifically looking at the industry application. So tackling lots of these different industries. Yes, we will talk about art. We'll actually start with art because we want to kind of just pop that bubble straight away and say, you know, it's not just about the investment in art, it's about the use cases beyond that. And then open that up to gaming, e-commerce, you know, music, sports, you know, where these use cases are going to transform the way that many people engage with technology for the future.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those sectors of the blockchain space that people, if they don't fully grasp, how big of a technological primitive this is, it's easy to write it off and just say, well, people are, making digital art and now they're selling it on the computer instead of selling it in person. But truly, NFTs are so much more than that, and they offer, exactly that, a technology primitive that we can now start to monetize the creator economy in a greater way. We can start to monetize community and fan engagement, and we can merge the experiences of fans and owners, and they become, the same person. So I think there's just so much to explore in that space, and I'm really excited to be chatting about NFTs in sports and in gaming for during this conference. But how about some of the key guests that you guys have? I mean, I know there's a star-studded cast of CEOs and inventors that are coming onto the panel. Any off the top of the head that might ring a bell for some of our users?
Yeah, I mean, across the board, if we're going to have a panel around an industry application, our goal has been try and bring together those who are leading the space, who have pioneered. So if we take the gaming panel that you're going to be talking about, we're welcoming Robbie, who's the CEO of Animoca, who's really been instrumental in kind of building that infrastructure. When it comes to that same discussion, we'll bring Alien Worlds and we'll bring Sandbox, because they're kind of really leading the way and have built these huge communities around the projects that they're running. So, again, when it comes to talking about sports, hopefully, driving a really engaging discussion, starting with, say, yes, the NBA Top Shots, that was a collaboration across Turner Media and Dapper Labs, and bring Crypto.com and the UFC recent announcement into that discussion, but use that to piggyback a broader discussion about not just the collectibles that's happening online, but also like the use cases in industry, in the future of sports ticketing and fan sports person relationships, as you outlined. So there's, go to www.globalnftsummit.com and you can look at the agenda, which is live. Some really exciting discussions to be had across the board. Really excited to welcome Jamie Burke from Outlier Ventures, who's really kind of driving forward this discussion on the industry application track, from the opening about what is the open metaverse through to like a discussion about where the future of these metaverses is going to go. What do NFTs mean as a component of that future? How are they going to pave the way for the player and creator economies within these environments? And hopefully bringing that community into to have that open discussion. We want the community to ask a million questions. That's what these panels are there for, because we want to be able to kind of push that agenda. So yeah, check out the website. There's more coming every day. We still got content to upload. I know we're just a week or so out, but lots of great speakers there to be excited about.
Amazing. And that's the Global NFT Summit, globalnftsummit.com. And that is live, free tickets, and it's live on July 28th and 29th. What are some of the other conferences that you guys have coming up in the near future in the blockchain space? Yeah,
so our next conference will be at the tail end of this year, and we're going to essentially widen the lens a bit to look at what is the trajectory of this sort of Web3 that we hear about, that everyone's building for. What does it look like? What does it mean for us as consumers, as users of the internet? What control does it give us back of our data and that sovereignty of kind of our own personality and who we are online, and how do we ensure that what we see is built for us, and everyone has these kind of unique internet experiences. This is all like the great thing about this for me has been that as I'm building the events around it, I'm learning about these industries too. So that'll be our next event. So some great conversations already happening there, and we'll be launching the site hopefully very soon. And then next year we will also be doing one that I'm building on this metaverse discussion called Enter the Metaverse. We're going to be really kind of delving into does the future of the metaverse look like? What does that mean for consumers? What does that mean for brands? There's a whole new avenue for people to meet the people that use them, that love them, that have loved them in the Web2 space. You know, how can they now engage online? What does the future of fashion look like? Real estate, you know, marketing in the metaverse, gigs, you know, music, art. It's all just going to transform. So that'll be a really exciting event coming early in 2022. And then because we run the FinTech Design Summit in the focus around designing financial products that transform the product experience away from this traditional like stakeholder-led environment of financial services to a end customer needs focused product design. We've built this huge event that runs 3 days across America, EMEA, and APAC to look at the different experience and needs. So we're going to tie a FinTech Design Summit with the DeFi conference that we've been planning to really kind of help bridge again that gap between Web 2, Web 3, you know, traditional technology, blockchain technology. What does that mean? How does this bridge the gap? What does the future look like? So there's more to come on that. So watch the space.
Wow. Amazing. You know, Web3, metaverse, DeFi, so many integral parts of the crypto community. And for anybody in the audience that's just, you know, getting started in the crypto space, maybe you hold a little bit of Bitcoin, maybe that's your kind of red pill into the crypto space. I can't stress enough how much bigger crypto is than just Bitcoin alone, and how many paradigms are shifting as we speak. New technology primitives that are coming out daily, that are allowing users and creators just a world of new opportunities that were never possible before. So if you guys are interested in, you know, getting a little bit more involved in the space or just learning a little bit more about all the benefits that crypto has to offer, highly recommend, you know, checking out Tech Circus and going through a couple of their workshops or conferences to truly, you know, take a bite into some of the major players and major things that are happening in the crypto space. Because as I said, it's so much bigger than just one coin in Bitcoin. Anyways, Miles, thank you so much for the time on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, and I cannot wait till the Global NFT Summit. If people want to get in contact with you, how would they do so?
So you can follow us on any of our social handles. It's typically Tech Circus. It's at Tech Circus, or at Tech Circus _ if you're hitting us on Twitter. But then, you know, you can reach me if you have any questions, if you're keen to kind of join the event, partner around the event, speak at this event, or any of those events we've outlined for the future. Hit me up, just drop me an email, miles@techcircus.co.uk. I'm always open to conversations. Collaboration's key to the success of any community. So if you're mobilizing in this space, if you're innovating, I want to hear from you. I would love to communicate and build this future together. So, you know, I can only, say a massive thanks for Mike for the opportunity to speak and reach out to you today. So if you're listening in, follow Crypto Weekly, come and meet us at Tech Circus and check us out at the Global NFT Summit on the 28th and 29th.
Amazing. Great things to come. Miles, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely, Mike. See you soon.